Good afternoon. We will call to order the February City of Columbia Planning Commission meeting. Welcome to Planning Commission members, staff, and guests. I would ask that everyone turn their cell phone and PDAs to the silent or vibrate mode. The administrator will proceed with the roll call.
Brian Dolphin, James Frost II, Latrell Hart, April James,
Issa Mandel, Dale Stigemeyer,
Here.
Ford Topper, and Craig Waits.
Thank you. I will briefly review the meeting format. Applicants with requests before the Planning Commission are allotted a presentation time of 10 minutes. This time shall include, but is not limited to, an overview of the project, case history, and any pertinent meetings held regarding the request. This time also includes all persons presenting information on behalf of the applicant, such as attorneys, engineers, and architects. This time limit does not include any questions asked by Planning Commission or staff regarding the request. Members of the general public are given the opportunity to address their concerns in intervals of 2 minutes. The administrator has a timer and will make presenters aware when their time has expired. The Planning Commission reserves the right to amend these procedures on a case-by-case basis. The consent agenda. The Planning Commission uses the consent agenda to approve non-controversial or routine matters by a single motion and vote. Examples of such items include approvals of site plan, annexations, and street names. If a member of the Planning Commission or the general public would like to discuss an item on the consent agenda, that item is removed from the consent agenda and considered during the meeting. The Planning Commission then approves the remaining consent agenda items. The administrator will read the consent agenda.
Good evening. Just wanted to introduce our two visitors. They're both job shadowing me for the day. First student was Emma, my daughter, and the second student was her friend, Addison, and they're both in 8th grade.
Thank you.
The consent agenda, I believe we have an amendment possibly to the minutes, so probably the first motion would need to be to remove the minutes off of the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to remove the meeting minutes off the consent agenda.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor, support by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed by no. Motion's passed.
And then we need a motion to approve with the amendment.
All right, I'll make a motion that we amend the meeting minutes to reflect that the votes for the vice chair include Mr. Frost for 5 votes and Ms. James for 2 votes instead of Mr. Stigemeyer for 5 votes.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed by no. Motion passes.
Great, thank you. Your consent agenda this evening then consists of items number 2 through 6, and those consist of a zoning map amendment for 20 Governor's Hill, TMS 09010-07-11, as well as a zoning map and text amendment for 1813 Main Street with multiple tax map numbers, as well as a site plan review item 3506 Broad River Road, and 2 street name requests. The first street name request is within the Cottages of Wood Creek subdivision, and they consist of Sycamore Leaf Lane, Magnolia Petal Drive, and Sapphire Gem Lane. And then item number 6 rounds out your consent agenda this evening, and those are also street names within the Bull Street Plan Unit Development, and those consist of McLean Street and McLeaves Street.
Thank you. Do any commission members or guests today wish to have items on the consent agenda removed and placed on the regular agenda? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as explained.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed by no. Motion passes. We will now proceed with the regular agenda.
Your regular agenda this evening, the first item is item number 7. It's an amendment to the new Chapter 17 of the Columbia Code of Ordinances entitled Unified Development Ordinance, adopted August 20th, 2019, and updating text and revising the effective date of the ordinance to November 1st, 2020. And Rachel here is to give you a little bit more detail.
Hello again.
Nope.
So the changes made are some are corrections to Scrivener's errors, some are some just updates we realized needed to be made so that the new districts or the new requirements would work, basically. And then just some are by request of council. So I'll just go over a few really quick for you all. Some of it was just cleaning up requirements for accessory uses and structures. So an update to the table. And then we just updated the names of a few districts. So we have the Neighborhood Activity Center Corridor District. It was just an update to the abbreviation of the district. We didn't touch anything else, really. So, and that's the same for the CAC, the RAC, and the DAC. So an update to the density definition. We just removed a section, again, just to make those calculations easier for the public and for staff to use. Eating and drinking establishments, some of that language was by request of council to clean up that section. Interpretation of district boundaries, again, just to make more clear to the public when reading the ordinance. And then to the mixed use districts, instead of MUL and MUM, we have MU1 and MU2. And then we added, we updated the townhouse requirements just to make it more clear as to how to construct the townhouses in that district. Community character update is in there, and we noticed before the meeting that there was a small typo in there just to the reference sections for criteria on page 5 of the community character. It should be 2I instead of F1. So again, any other Scrivener's errors will get cleaned up along the way. So, and then an update to the table just to reflect the new district names and to reflect, we got rid of the COR-N district. It kind of got consolidated with the NAC Activity Center, Neighborhood Activity Center, because they were pretty much the same. And then just some updates to the RSF districts as to lot sizes and lot coverage and density, just to bring it more in line with the way the single-family districts are currently. So, because our goal in doing this was not to make drastic changes to any of the residential districts. So if you all have any questions about any of those, I'm happy to answer them.
Are there any questions for the applicant?
It was in red.
Then that would be new. So there were some updates to that. Yes, it changed the limits to demo and that community character. Changing, I believe, the exemptions and then just the requirement in general on that section. So yeah, anything in red or anything that's underlined would be the new changes to those sections.
Questions for the applicant? Thank you. Appreciate it. Any questions for staff? Other staff? Would any members of the public like to speak? Seeing none. With that being the case, can I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the zoning tax amendment.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed by no. Motion passes. As there is no other business, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.
Knocked it out.